Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This article is part of a directory, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Release date, cast, story and everything we know about the young Sheldon spinoff. One key detail in Missy and Meemaw's returns in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is clarified by executive producer Steve Molaro. After George's death and subsequent funeral in young Sheldon, life goes on for the Coopers. Sheldon is in Pasadena, California, starting his post-grad studies at Caltech, while the rest of the family moves on with their lives in Medford, Texas. For Georgie and Mandy, that involves raising baby Cease and navigating their new marital status in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. However, they will spend more time with the McAllisters instead of Georgie's family. That said, Mary, Missy and Meemaw will still appear in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. However, instead of being series regulars like in young Sheldon, Molaro clarifies that they will only be appearing in the first 2 episodes of the show in a new interview with TV Line. Beyond that, there is no confirmed information. Read his full quote below. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is confirmed to pick up just a few months after the young Sheldon final. Because there's not much separation between the shows, CBS can easily continue the Cooper story from the Big Bang Theory prequel. This means that the new expansion series needs to feature Georgie's side of the family. For context, Georgie and Mandy are not moving out of Medford. Instead, they're only living across town from his childhood home. Not seeing them with Missy, Mary and Meemaw will raise questions about their whereabouts or the status of their relationships with the couple. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage cannot preserve the established canon if Georgie barely sees them in the spinoff. Secondly, the Big Bang Theory mandates that Mary and Missy remain in regular contact with Georgie. Per the eldest Cooper kid during his tense conversation with Sheldon, he begins taking care of the family after losing George because Mary was too grief-stricken to function. Meanwhile, Missy returned to her rebellious ways. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage cannot preserve the established canon if Georgie barely sees them in the spinoff. As for Meemaw, it's only fair that the couple check up on her, considering everything she has done for them on young Sheldon. Finally, it will be a massive waste if CBS doesn't bring back fan-favorite characters from their premiere comedy. Young Sheldon was forced to end despite still being so popular because of the Big Bang Theory timeline. This made it so difficult to say goodbye to the Coopers, considering that there are still so many more stories to tell, especially about Mary, Missy and Meemaw. The best Georgie and Mandy's first marriage can do is to ensure that they capitalize on the prominence of those characters. Therefore, while there are no concrete plans for Ian Armitage to reprise his role as Sheldon, it's only a matter of time before he appears in the Young Sheldon sequel. The primary reason for Young Sheldon's controversial cancellation was Sheldon's move from Texas to California. The Big Bang Theory prequel ended with a shot of him arriving at Caltech, where he will study and eventually work for the next few decades. That said, it's also worth noting that, before he really settles down in Pasadena, he is expected to come back to Texas, especially since he still doesn't have a solid social circle on the West Coast.